Way back in June, almost 3 months ago, Resident Evil 9 Requiem was revealed at Summer's Game Fest, and the RE community went crazy. From analyzing to crazy theories to in-depth hands-on preview discussions, well, that's the RE community at work for you. So while I could have sunk hours of my time into analyzing every single frame as soon as the reveal trailer dropped, I thought to wait it out a tad bit. Hearing there was more to expect later down the line during Gamescom, I thought waiting was the best thing I could actually do. Thankfully, it was the best thing I could have done to build up my feelings and thoughts for a new RE9 Requiem video. I'm going to talk about the story, the characters, the setting, the new stalker enemy, and the gameplay so far, to a certain extent. So strap in and feel free to listen to me talk your ears off while throwing crazy far out there theories. Let's talk Resident Evil 9 Requiem. First things first, a simple breakdown of the story so far. We play as a new main character named Grace Ashcroft, who happens to be the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft. If you're unfamiliar with Alyssa, she is one of many characters to play as in a beloved obscure spin-off game known as Resident Evil Outbreak. Her daughter Grace is a very intelligent, introverted, and easily frightened individual who moves from place to place with her mother for unknown yet very dangerous reasons. Grace seems very much like a tech-savvy type of person as she's constantly glued to her work on her laptop and eventually her work later down the line as an analyst. Sadly, on one stormy night, everything takes a literal dark turn with a mysterious abrupt phone call to the hotel room and a blackout.
Hello?
Miss Ashcroft?
Yes.
Who was it?
Dunno. They asked for Miss Ashcroft and then they hung up on me.
Rude.
What the?
They're coming. Grace, we need to go.
Go where? Mom, what's going on?
Hurry!
Wait, who's coming? What's wrong?
Shh. We need to keep our voices down.
This is ridiculous.
Come on.
Tell me what's going on.
Now is not the time.
As soon as everything goes dark, Alyssa and Grace are forced to leave their room and escape the hotel itself. With gun in hand, Alyssa guides her daughter through the eerie dark hotel corridors to safety.
Stay close.
Mom, wait!
Unfortunately, after finding the hotel owner, the encounter is cut short as a hooded man, horrifically in manhunt style, murders the hotel owner in front of the two. Grace and Alyssa quickly leave the scene before sharing what would be their last final heart-to-heart moment before Alyssa is killed right before Grace's eyes.
Look at me. In and out. Breathe in and out. Oh, Grace. I promise you, I will explain this all to you one of these days. Grace. Please know that you are my hope. Never forget that.
What are you talking about?
Just... I love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
Mom, I'm scared.
No. We need to find a way out of here now.
But we don't have any of our stuff.
We can come back for it later, Grace.
Skipping 8 years later into the future, Grace is now working as an analyst for the FBI. Her boss, Nathan Dempsey, interrupts her report on some mysterious murders involving infections to assign her to something more personal. Dempsey, acknowledging her trauma, encourages her to take up the assignment and investigate a murder similar to the ones they've been looking into. The exception here is, it's the fact that the body was located at the Wrenwood Hotel, the same exact place where her mother died 8 years ago.
I need your eyes on the crime scene. The Wrenwood Hotel. I know that's where your mother was murdered. Alyssa died 8 years ago. Perhaps it's time for you to face the past. Grace.
Despite being traumatized by the experience, Grace decides to go alone and investigate this killing, potentially hoping it could link back to her mother's murder. Of course, this is indeed a Resident Evil game, so expect things to not go oh so smoothly for poor Grace here. Upon visiting the hotel to investigate, Grace is seemingly abducted, where she awakens in a very Saw-like scenario. She's strapped upside down, her blood is being extracted, and she's completely defenseless with nothing but questions racing through her mind. Grace is now on her own, and so the horror officially begins in what is Resident Evil's darkest symphony. Now that we talked about what we can gather from the story on a surface level, I need to talk about our new protagonist, Grace Ashcroft, because I love this character and her design already. Sure, not everyone has had the chance to play as Grace yet because the demo is bouncing around from every game event, avoiding our at-home platforms like the plague. Still, she's so perfect for a horror game, especially a Resident Evil game. She's not like Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield, Claire Redfield, Leon S. Kennedy, or anyone else. She has no superpowers. She's normal. Kind of. If anything, as much as I love Ethan Winters, she is what Ethan Winters could have been. She's Ethan Winters, but perfected. She's already so much better, and I love Ethan. She's easily frightened, which plays into the gameplay where she'll trip or fumble over anything around the environment when she's scared and or being chased. Sometimes she'll even react to the environment when startled with unique animations like this. It's most notable in third person, but in first person there will be some changes where I'm pretty sure it will be on a balanced level. Oh yeah, if you like either first or third person, RE9 Requiem has you covered. Simply go into the menu settings and you will be graced, no pun intended, with the two options. The game will at times give you recommended heads up when selecting either of these options. For example, in the more cat and mouse like sections, first person might be a lot more recommended in the settings. Unless you're an OG purist, which, you know, all due respect, where you love fixed camera angles and tank controls and whatnot, this is pretty much something you cannot exactly complain about. Anyways, back to Grace. The developers have confirmed she will be affected by what you carry around. However, she will grow over the course of the story, making the gameplay far more interesting with overcoming obstacles. I personally love these features so much. Having Grace stumble around is pretty immersive while bringing out more of her personality where she can be easily frightened. It is indeed a horror game, that's why I'm playing it or I want to play it. If I saw what Grace was greeted with, I'd be falling on my ass too, trying to get the hell out of there. If you think this will be the entire game where you run, hide, or even appear clumsy, well, have no fear, because she will grow capable as a survivor the more you play and progress. I've seen plenty of people already get rather upset over a couple of elements relating to the feeling of being defenseless. In response to those arguments or criticisms, I've seen these type of criticisms back in 2016 around TGS when showcasing the Mia VHS tape for RE7, and it was more survival horror and less cat and mouse when the game launched. B, the game has yet to release. C, the gameplay you see here is confirmed to be early on, very early on in the game's story. So trust me, you will receive guns, ammunition, and of course a melee weapon like every other RE title since 1996. I'm 100% sure that you will not be forever stalked with no weapons. This will not be Outlast or Alien Isolation the game. This is the next step with Resident Evil. Although keep in mind, the genre that you are playing is mainly survival horror, so picking or choosing your battles or running and engaging less with enemies is pretty much a part of the genre. Aside from folks doubting the game and not loving Grace right off the bat, which that's fair because we don't know everything about her, I truly just love how Grace is being handled so far. Especially since we never had a proper survival horror RE game with such a heavy emphasis on the horror part in quite a while. I think all of the features talked about will make the gameplay way more engaging as a survival horror entry in one of Capcom's most beloved franchises that's been going on since the mid-90s. Grace really is working her way up to becoming one of the best, and I'm talking about Leon S. Kennedy or Jill Valentine levels of best or favorable. Here's hoping for more information on our new main character. Next up, the stalker enemy of Requiem. RE9 Requiem's stalker enemy is what some refer to as the Hag or the Witch. This creature stands insanely tall and it towers over you as it hunches slightly beneath the ceiling of the clinic. Not only does the Witch stand tall, but it operates in a similar fashion to the alien from Alien Isolation. It will actually vent into the ceiling to find another opening to stand in your way. Probably to stand in the way of your goal, actually. So always be alert. Thankfully, you can distract the creature with objects like bottles, similar to throwing a noisemaker in Alien Isolation. I would like to note that the bottle being picked up here has stats, which makes me curious if this indicates if there are other throwables that could be stronger or just grenades or flashbangs in general. Speaking of flashbangs, despite the creature being blind, it actually can find you in the darkness by smelling you, but has a notable weakness to light. Very bright lights, that is. From watching footage of the demo, I noticed lights will go out if you travel back and forth to one room constantly, making the safe room feel rather unsafe. How humorous, Capcom. However, I wonder if flashbangs will act pretty effective towards her light weakness, making her stunned heavily compared to any other BOW in the series. I mean, it worked on Lickers in Resident Evil 2 Remake. Also, another humorous yet very painful looking addition is the fact that the Witch can sling or throw carts at you, or probably about anything, so that's gonna be a real thorn in the side in gameplay. That seems to be all I know relating to the Witch in gameplay, yet I'm hoping since it has a weakness to light that the whole clinic has a massive blackout at some point in the story, allowing her to wander the corridors freely until the power's back on. Still, I'm not done talking about her just yet because there is something else concerning the Witch. The director Koshi Nakanishi confirmed the creature is indeed not Lisa Trevor. Nakanishi says, "Actually, the voice for the current version of the creature is not yet the final version. To be honest, it is a temporary sound based on Lisa's voice. It's not just the voice, but of course there are other things that are still in development. So we're updating various parts. I'm sorry if this has caused confusion among users, but it's fine to use this as a headline of the article. Actually, it wasn't Lisa," he laughs. Now let the Lisa Trevor theories sleep soundly. The popular Alyssa Ashcroft theory is the likely answer aside from a small chance of it acting as a completely different original monster who was once a clinic patient. Originally, I thought it was Alyssa from the first teaser where we never saw its face in full glory. The hair was a large indicator in my opinion during the reveal. Later, a few RE folks started talking about their hands-on impressions with RE9, like Maximilian Dude and Susie the Spear Hunter. Some stated it was Lisa Trevor, or at the very least theorized it was in fact her, mainly relating to the audio like the vocals or the chain sound effects being pulled straight from the remake. I started to feel torn about the theories when I studied the visuals and was listening to the audio. I even joked about it being Lisa Trevor. It didn't change the fact the creature had me feeling torn on whether or not it was Lisa or Alyssa. It did have a bulging eye, large teeth, and broken restraints on her limbs, similar to Lisa Trevor, adding on these sound effects. So don't feel bad or stupid if you thought it was Lisa Trevor in the slightest, and don't make fun of people who thought it was Lisa Trevor either. There are plenty of insane theories out there which are far more outlandish than the now debunked safe Lisa Trevor theory. Be kind to each other. no one is right yet. That's the joy of theorizing, so let's have fun with it. Speaking of theories, let's talk a little bit about Resident Evil 9 Requiem's story. In the 9th mainline entry of this beloved iconic action survival horror series, we're finally returning to Raccoon City, where it all started in the Arklay Mountains. While there is no clear answer, we do know it most likely stems from the main antagonist of the game, whoever that might be, as well as Grace happens to be
Special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
The line spoken here by who I assume to be someone we might know of, specifically 2 individuals who could fill in that role easily, and their names are Oswald E. Spencer and George Hamilton. Spencer is the founder of Umbrella, while Hamilton is a playable character in Outbreak who happens to be a surgeon. My reasoning on the hooded figure being Spencer connects to some visual elements in this shot here, as well as his voice. He has receding hair, he has on what seems to be a modified Wesker jacket, updated with a hood, and the fact he sits next to a phonogram. I'm not sure about you, but I have no idea who else would sit next to a phonogram in the RE universe. At least ones that could be very much alive. Maybe Hamilton might love them as well because, well, I'm not trying to say anything, but he is 39 in 1998 during Outbreak, so who knows? The hooded figure's voice itself feels very Spencer-like too, subtracting the RE5 performance where he sounded like Palpatine. Then again, it could be a very much older George Hamilton's voice as well. Now, why would Spencer even want Grace Ashcroft in the first place, or even her mother at that from 8 years ago? Well, it's simple. The daylight vaccine her mother took during the events of Raccoon City's downfall. Alyssa was infected with the T-virus, so taking the daylight vaccine would cure her, but when she had Grace, it would carry over strong properties, potentially making her special, as Spencer or George has said in this trailer. Possibly after killing or abducting Alyssa, Spencer found her blood to be a failure, and in return, the experimentation that she had gone through left her in a very mutated state where she would become the witch, the guard dog for Grace when she's isolated in the clinic early on in the game later down the line. What would be so special about Grace's blood, you might ask in a more detailed manner? The properties running through her veins are very much a powerhouse for fighting against the T-virus or T-virus-like enemies. Spencer probably finds this to be perfect for his future, his mission, a dream he's had in his mind for quite some time. If you did not know, Spencer wanted to become a god where he would achieve such a status to rule over a utopia of elite superhuman individuals, all because of the discovery of the progenitor virus. In RE5, he did die at the hands of Albert Wesker, so there could be valid doubts, but welcome to Resident Evil, where rarely no one truly dies. In Village, the 8th installment of the franchise, there was a breadcrumb trail leading to the reveal that Spencer did in fact stayed in the village a long time ago after Mother Miranda saved him, where she became his mentor. Obviously, the two never shared the same goal, so he left, but she did inspire him to pursue his dream, one that would go up in flames in 1998 when Raccoon City was wiped.
The new superior breed of humans, given birth by the progenitor virus. The Wesker children were entrusted with endless potential. Of them, only one survived. You.
Are you saying I was manufactured?
I was to become a god. Creating a new world with an advanced race of human beings. However, all was lost with Raccoon City. Despite that setback, your creation still holds great significance. Now my candle burns dimly. Ironic, isn't it? For one who has the right to be a god. To face his own mortality.
The right to be a god. is now mine. The right to be a god. You. Arrogant even until the end. Only one truly capable of being a god deserves that right.
Who's to say he didn't truly die and Village was probably slightly a tease, or he could have maybe inherited the molded abilities? I'm not too sure about that one, but it would explain why the hooded figure has such a pale state. It looks similar to Virgil's from Devil May Cry 5, another game series that stemmed from Resident Evil, where he could too be running out of time, crumbling or falling apart, but ever so slowly. Maybe Alyssa even bought him more time, but just it wasn't enough. Or maybe he has the T-virus working overtime through his body, but it has its own different effect on him, where he's in a very undead but painful or suffering state. Grace's blood being stronger than her mother's with the daylight vaccine would probably draw Spencer's attention closer to realizing that she is truly special and perfect for his very evil plan. It explains why her blood is being extracted at the early portion of the game anyways. Now, another theory could very much be the return of George Hamilton, another RC survivor from the Outbreak. The hooded man does have a similar color beneath the jacket, like his Outbreak design. On top of that, he was a surgeon, which explains why Grace is being operated on from the get-go. In addition, his voice is pretty similar to his voice during RE Outbreak, if he was way older as stated earlier in this portion of the video.
It's finished. I can finally rest. No, I have one thing left to do. I'm not a savior. It's just my duty.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. The special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
I cannot say I came to this conclusion of George Hamilton being the hooded figure on my own, so shout out to Terrico for one of the most solid theories for RE9's mysterious villain, because it's pretty good and the man knows his stuff. Seriously, go check out his videos, they're pretty good. Although, here's another potential theory. It's both Spencer and Hamilton. I know, this is stretching heavily, but at this point, we're all stretching in plenty of ways when it comes to theorizing on RE9 Requiem's story and the characters and the gameplay and so on and so forth. I mean, to add on to why I think it could be both, Alyssa does say this.
They're coming. Grace, we need to go.
Now, I'm not sure if this is a use of the word where she refers to multiple people, or mainly one with no knowledge of their identity. However, though, we do know the killer is a man from the trailer shots and showcases. It still does not rule out the possibility that there could be another one. Either way, it's exciting to see who the hooded figure could be. It would just feel weird if the antagonist we receive is someone completely new, because the game's title is called Requiem, and we are returning to Raccoon City, the Arklay Mountains where it all began. In addition, the mysterious hooded man's face is hidden for the most part, so it most definitely has to be someone we already know. All we can accept is the fact that it's an engaging mystery until next year in February, when Requiem makes its debut. Before we wrap up here, there are a few more things to add in. In the gameplay footage we received, there were more unique elements implemented into the game. There are empty ink ribbon cases that we can find across the clinic, and I assume later levels. And the thing about it is that they're empty, so maybe we will be filling these up to save our games in a more traditional or classic way. If this is actually a returning feature with a twist, I already love it so much. Of course, while herbs are back, we do get med injectors to heal ourselves with, and lights can also be turned on and off, assuming this will affect how stealth-like you can be, or saving power for intense chases to cut on as soon as the witch enters what is a safe room. It is also stated flavor text will make a return. Veteran players of the series probably are very delighted to see the feature come back because flavor text can be a joy when it has its moments. The developers even added in there will be more places to explore, not just the RPD as teased in the trailer. Last but not least, the developers have confirmed while Chris Redfield will not appear in Requiem, I'm sorry Chris Redfield fans, there will be someone fans will definitely be looking forward to in the anticipated entry. So definitely stay tuned for that. Well, sadly that's all I can talk about for right now. There might be a couple of other bits and pieces of information that I missed. We still have less than 6 months until the game launches though, so let's keep it going, RE peeps. As for a demo speculation for all of us and not just a game event, expect the demo launching around maybe after Tokyo Game Show in late September or all around in October. Who knows? A combat-focused demo might be somewhere around January or February, and it might be the best time for everyone to try it out at that point since it'll be closer to the game's launch. Even if these speculations are false, and I'm not claiming they are factual, don't lose hope, stay strong. If you'd like to, comment below your theories or hopes for Resident Evil 9 Requiem. February 27th, 2026, we return to where it all started in time for the 30th anniversary for Resident Evil. So thank you everyone so much for watching, and as always, I hope each and every one of you have a great and safe day. Thank you.